Hi everyone, welcome to Water STEM Live. This is the science behind slime. My name is Mark Celebresi. I am in customer experience marketing at Waters Corporation. I'm joined today with my wonderful assistant and my daughter Callie. Today we're going to be talking about what is soluble and insoluble. Soluble is when you take a liquid or a solid and you add it to a mixture, mix it up, and it completely dissolves. A great example of this is sugar. Sugar is very soluble. When you take sugar and add it to water and mix it, it dissolves. Callie, do you think it's going to be, when we dissolve it, is it going to be dissolving faster in hot water or cold water?
Hot water.
Hot water? Okay. Let's see what happens. Pour a little bit of that in there. Yep, pour it. Keep going. Keep going. A little bit more. Okay. Now pour the same amount in there. Keep going, a little bit more. Good. Now mix it up. Yep, use that. So what she's going to do is she's actually going to be mixing the sugar into the water and trying to get it to dissolve. Now the reason why have you ever noticed that when you use sugar with baking or cooking, you always put the sugar with the wet ingredients? That's because you want the sugar to dissolve. If you were going to add it to the dry ingredients, it would dissolve, but it wouldn't fully dissolve. So now that she's mixed it, I'm going to show you. We have here, this is the sugar water that has the hot water to it. You can see it's fully dissolved. Now, let's take the cold water. You can see it's dissolved, but it's actually, you can still see the granules. Thank you, Callie. So the reason for that is temperature has a major thing when it comes to dissolving. So if you looked earlier, you probably got this sheet. This will actually tell you a lot about what is soluble and not soluble. I'm not a scientist, I am in marketing, so I'm going as I go. So, so that's a soluble mixture. So another soluble item is salt. That's why you get salt water. So what we've made now is actually almost like a simple syrup, sugar water. Now let's talk about what is insoluble. Insoluble is when a mixture doesn't dissolve in with water. A great example of that is what we're going to be doing today. Cornstarch slime. Here's where we're going to start to get messy. So now, Callie, I want you to pour that in.
All of it?
Pour all of it in. Oh. See, we're getting messy. Pour it all in. Now, what we're going to do is,
Like baby powder.
It does look like baby powder. As we can see, this is live. I have my cat joining me. And so when we talk about cornstarch slime, there's a great story that came out by Dr. Seuss called Bartholomew and the Oobleck. That was a book that talked about a king who wanted different he wanted different weather. So he had his magician conjure up oobleck. Do you know what color oobleck was?
Green.
Green. Does everybody else know what color oobleck was? What color was it? You're right, it was green. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put some green food coloring in with the water. Now, food coloring is a soluble mixture. Yep, you mix that in. Okay, so now, I don't know if you can see it, but now we're going to actually start to pour this mixture into the cornstarch. Yep, put it down. Pour a little bit at a time. Keep pouring. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit more messy. Callie, mix it up with your hands. Start mixing it up. As she's mixing that, you can actually see we made some slime before, and you can see it actually nice and smooth. As you can see, when she's mixing it, it's starting to get chalky. So we're going to add a little bit more liquid, usually about a cup of cornstarch to about a half a cup of water. And keep mixing that up. Can you show everybody what it looks like? See how it gets chalky and gets liquidy? Keep mixing, Callie. All right.
It almost looks like glue.
It almost looks like glue. So we're going to keep pouring it in, keep mixing it up. Do you want some help?
Nope.
No? You got this? Okay. Okay, let's...
Starting to get slimy.
Starting to get slimy. All right, let's see. So we're going to keep mixing this. And you'll know it's done when it starts to get runny in your hands. And don't worry about adding too much liquid. There's only really 2 ingredients to this. The food coloring is completely optional. So as you're mixing it, if it starts to feel like it's too hard, you can add more liquid to it. So we're going to add a little bit more liquid to this right now. So 1 cup of cornstarch to about a half a cup of water, give or take, depending on the temperature of the water and the temperature of the air. You got to keep mixing. And you can actually see with this slime,
Little too watery.
little too watery. Well, let's see. Let me see it. Yep, you still got more that can be mixed in. So as we mix, the water is going through the particles of the cornstarch. Cornstarch is very jagged and all different shapes and sizes. So you can see.
What happens when you, instead of flour, you put sugar in?
Well,
To this slime.
well, this isn't flour. So it would dissolve because why?
Because
Sugar is soluble.
sugar's
Yep. So this is actually looking pretty good right now.
very watery.
It is watery, but now you can see it's almost acting like quicksand.
It is quicksand. My hands go in very quickly.
Yep. So now, if you know what quicksand is an insoluble mixture of sand and water. Usually what happens is we're going to actually take an example of a toy. You can take a toy like this or a toy of like an action figure. And
You
if,
can see that it goes in very quickly.
yep, but the more pressure you apply, it doesn't stick. It doesn't go in. But if you were to just let it go, it's going to actually just sink in. Just like quicksand, the harder you fight, the harder it is to get out. Now, Callie, try, we have it in there. Try pulling it out real fast. Did you notice the resistance? Pull it out again. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the mixture. We're going to move it over to the side here. Now we're going to pour the slime onto this tray. You can see how it disperses and moves just like a liquid.
Oh, that's bigger than the other one.
Yeah. That's because this slime, this cornstarch mixture, is a non-Newtonian fluid. And so what that means is that it doesn't follow Newton's law of viscosity. So now that we have it on this tray, Callie, give it a good smack. Do you notice how it didn't move? The harder you smack it, the less it'll move. The more resistance that you apply, the harder it becomes. Now you can see, let's get your hands out. It moves just like water does. That's what makes it a non-Newtonian fluid. So let's try and make it into a ball. Can you try and make it into a ball? The more pressure you apply, you can actually see it creates this hard substance in your hand, and it moves around. Now, this is a disclaimer for all the parents watching with their kids. When it comes time to get rid of it, as we all have to sometimes, do not pour it down the sink. It will clog the sink. So just make sure you throw it away in the trash. It does save in a container. Sometimes you will have to add more water to it.
Sometimes you may have to add more cornstarch to it.
That's right. But you can see I'm rolling it up and it's turning into a ball. So that's all we have for today. I hope that everybody enjoys playing with their slime. I know Callie and I have, right?
Yep.
All right. So enjoy, have fun, get messy, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.